Hi, my name is Hyunseon Kang, and I have to say I'm sorry about my voice because I have a very bad voice. So I try to make sound very clearly. And thank you, Raffaella, for invitation and this lovely house. Uh, Such a nice place for artists to talk. And I'm an artist based in Seoul and working uh, with digital media as you introduced. And I'm going to begin the talk by showing you my recent work first, and back then in time to share thoughts behind my work. And this work is Garden of Reason, and which I made in 2022, last year, in Art Center here in Seoul. The work consists of several videos and VR. So I will show you a short trailer of this work first.
I've never been satisfied being just a person who lives in the same town for all my life.
Cabbage it had none, but generally bore a plentiful crop of nuts about the size of a large chestnut and rounder. Two died and the rest were saved with difficulty.
Okay, I will explain about this image first. The sound was quite important because I also made the sound with using AI. And talking about this work, I was inspired historian figure named Captain James Cook, uh, who was a British explorer, cartographer. Maybe lots of people know him about, yeah. He was very famous for his voyage between 1768 to 1769 in the Pacific Ocean, especially to New Zealand and Australia, because he found some new sail route there. So he made map. So the first one uh, is the you cannot see clearly, but there is a route of his first voyage, and it's the first complete map of the world because he found some parts of New Zealand and Australia. And on his voyage, another man named Joseph Banks, who was a British botanist and naturalist, who discovered, collected, and categorized plants. He traveled with two illustrators and two museologists and four servants with his money. Under the map, the left one is the plant called Banksia. It's collected by Joseph Banks. And the right side is the illustration by Sidney Parkins. And I don't remember exactly, but he brought two painters, and one died because of the travel. He got some illness, so he died during the first voyage. And for me, this idea was of exploring was very difficult to understand because their exploration of new land and categorization of all the plants and animals has changed the world we are living. But I couldn't grasp their true motivation. I wasn't able to understand why should I go find new land? Why should I go find new plants or new animals? So what I understood was that I'm a part of a world that they were categorizing. But I felt uncomfortable about it because I don't think I can be explained by a certain category. So I wanted to know more about how they saw the world. I wanted to understand how they thought. And by chance, I heard about the story of a British woman named Caitlin Smith. She's Caitlin Smith, and whom after her retirement decided to go on a voyage for several years, traveling all around the world. I was very lucky to meet her because she was actually my friend's mother. So I heard the story during I was working on the Garden of Reason when I researched Captain James Cook. So I had a chance to interview her, and I've learned that she was following the exact same route as Captain James Cook in New Zealand and Australia. And she went to Fiji and Panama with a very small yacht, with only with her friend. Just two people were there, and she told me that although they are two, it's like sailing alone because when one people sail the boat, one people have to sleep, so they are not together with the boat. And she became a thread for me to understand not only the mindset, but the emotional attitude of the explorer. I was truly inspired by her bravery and independent spirit. So I asked her, what was the purpose of your adventure? And she said simply, to sail around the world. It was very shocking for me. So her aim was just travel around the world. And it was very small boat, and she said there was a huge damage on the boat, and she didn't notice because one day the mast came down from the boat, so they were really almost killed. But they have to spend like 6 months to repair the boat, but she did it. Yeah, I think she stayed like 6 years in her 60s because it was started from her retirement. And I'm not. It was her voyage is not about spiritual something or for money or for looking for new plants. It's exploration itself. I wanted to know what she felt and what she saw. So I began constructing my work based on these three British explorers, Captain James Cook, Joseph Banks, and Caitlin Smith. And digital media for me offers this freedom of transformation, space, time, and also personas. I wanted to incorporate AI into the piece because I wanted to create a point of view, not of my own. I wanted to make this other point of view. And this is created by AI. I fed AI to create species of plants that is not categorizable. These plants are based on actual plants, which was collected by Joseph Banks in New Zealand and Australia. But I wanted to create a kind of mutant or monster plant that defies categorization. So my question was actually about structure of what we call identity, or how we identify what we stay in and which species are. And during my exhibition, the ambassador of New Zealand visited, and he recognized these plants, and he said, I feel like home. Yeah, so I thought it was very interesting how we identify ourselves even with plants. And the left one is originally this kind of huge tree in New Zealand. So from Joseph Banks' drawing, I created 3D image, and then I use AI to transfer it as not recognizable or not categorizing image. So these are the same. This is my avatar made by 3D graphic program. And I wanted, I didn't want to follow the categorized plans. So also my identities, I want to change my identities. I wanted to describe as a Korean female aduma, and short, and something like that. I don't, people always describe a person as their outlook. So, and the plants categorized by their shape, and plants didn't mean their, categorization. They wouldn't agree about that. So, more and more, I thought about how serious we consider our identity. I don't believe it really exists in reality, but we create them artificially, and we like to believe it. The change in the surface, the shape, color, mustache, hair, that what we consider very superficial, are deterministic of how we identify ourselves. To me, these things cannot be any more superficial, but yet very serious. In the digital world, our existing idea of identities seems very archaic and perhaps not relevant at all. This image is from my VR, and the plants are made with AI. VR was the right medium for me to imagine transformative perspective, looking at an uncategorizable world. Here is sample of beer.
I waited a long time for the ships and equipment to be fully prepared for sailing. So quick as I found us acquired by you. To let more people know what I know. I was very happy to learn about plants through the voyage.
This black boxes means when you use AI, we input something and we receive the output, but in the middle, we don't know the process. So people call it black box. So I made this black box between the real plants and the plants made by AI. So this is my earlier work, which I made in 2017. I made work about apartment in Seoul, where I live. Apartments are status symbol in Korea of a middle class life. The title is 3103. It's my apartment room number, and I don't know if you ever experienced, and sometimes people call each other using apartment number in Korea because they don't know their real name, but they know their apartment name, the number. Yeah. So like 3103. Hi, 3103. Yeah. And rather than their names, they use this apartment number, and apartments are the investments as well. Uh, uh, apartments in Seoul is very expensive, but uh, quite small and characterless. I think the apartment shape is very patterned. Almost every apartment are, we can guess their structure. So, but they are both sides for me. They are efficient and comfortable, but alienating at the same time. I try to capture this essence of apartment. I think they are a kind of my own mindscape as a person who live here. So 3103 is my living room at the moment, but it's not, hyper real uh, photography. It's a 3D graphic image. So I wanted to express my feeling about my house. And this is 1202 is I lived there when I was a high school student, and my parents' house. Yeah. It has a very small ambience, so I did. If you are okay, I will just speak while it's playing. I wanted to express the feeling to escape from the apartment, but I cannot because next house, next house, and it's all connected. I connected 8 living rooms together, but I don't know if you can recognize which one is which one because the uh, Korean apartment living room is um, very simple, yeah, and we can guess. So actually, at first, this living room had ceilings and bottom, and it has color and texture. But I removed them all because I wanted to express the unstable feeling in this kind of apartment. Uh, it's from my experience and from when I was very little until now, I lived in an apartment, but I had to move continuously. But uh, almost most of apartments look same for me. So when I was young, I had to change my primary school 5 times, and at that time I dreamed about. I had a very bad dream. I had to find my apartment. I had to remember the number of apartment. So I wanted to express about my feeling. Mm.
There is sorry, usually I don't intervene, but there is a sense of alienation when the watch
Yeah.
is mesmerizing.
Yeah.
And there you feel lost.
Yeah. Yeah, it's from my experience. It was when I was 9 years old. Yeah, because uh, when I was 7 years old, I entered primary school, and I had moved 3 times during when I was 7 years old. So I had to remember the number. It was very hard. And this work is vertical garden. I put digital print on the wall. I thought about what it means to be natural at the time. As I explained in the previous work, in Korean apartment, we have this small balcony in which most of us grow some plants. You don't have plants. Okay, so it's not.
I killed them all.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Because I was working in a small studio full of computers at the time because I'm a digital media artist. So I had maybe 2 laptops and PC, something like that. And I really felt like I was going to die among the computers. I could maybe feel some electricity. So I decided to buy some plants. So actually it worked. I felt much better at first. And I bought the plant, it's for kinds of air freshening plant. But later, I felt like I was just dying together with the plants. I felt sorry for those plants because I'm still alive, and my plants were all dead, like your friend. Next, this is another version of vertical garden, and I wanted to. The reason why I didn't make I made footprints on the wall is I wanted to make illusion in this place. And I found about Hyunseon Kang, an intellectual who wrote about the gardening called 양화소록, short notes on growing flowers in the 15th century Korea. This book contains basic information passed down from generations about a few dozen flowers and three trees people have been enjoying to grow as hobbies. It was an instruction on how to grow and use the plants. Also, it explains the character of plants, their symbolism, and their meaning. And Kang Hyun was also a talented painter. These are his painting. Maybe some people can recognize the painting on the left side. It is very famous painting in Korea. He explains the concept called wayu, meaning enjoying while lying down. This means when you are not allowed to visit nature because of daily life, you enjoy by looking at your garden or painting. You don't have to go out. You can enjoy the nature looking at the pictures. I think essentially it was their version of virtual reality to escape the burden of daily lives. In this painting, the painter imagines this person's point of view. This in this picture, who is sitting down or riding the boat. The frame is not the artist's single point of view like in Western landscape. It is actually a reverse point of view of the artist's imagination about this character, this character's perspective in this picture. I think my sensibilities are coming from this tradition. So that's why I'm wearing this. I want to reflect you. And I started to make variation about plants living in apartment. My images are not so romantic as Kang Hyun. because I felt like in modern world that I live, there is a breakdown civilization and nature. There is a talk about going back to nature and romanticizing nature by some who claim to be post-Anthropocene. I felt like even the nature they talk about is artificial. It's like it's an idealized notion of nature that people like. In fact, I'm scared to be in nature. I wanted to create a space where this pair of structure of reality is shown. On the right is looking in from outside, where you find the giant plants engulfing the building. Maybe they are ghost of plants that I killed. And this is called Adventure of Lucy, the title of artist talk today, made in 2019. Here is your trailer. It looks like a single channel video, but this is not edited video. It's I call it live simulation. I made this using game engine. So Lucy moves randomly. So and when she moves, the furniture follows to her. So uh, we don't actually know what's going to happen in this simulation. It's kind of video game, but it moves automatically. There are 10 virtual cameras, like CCTV, among each other according to the movement of the avatar. Yeah, this is how I created my avatar Lucy. Previous avatar of Lucy, I made it using 3D graphic program, but in this case, I scanned myself. So there were 300 cameras to scan my body. So I was standing there like this. So have information of all of my bodies. Yeah. And actually, after I created my avatar, I was thinking about name. So Hyunseon is a bit difficult to remember. I decided to use Lucy. Actually, Lucy is my daughter's name. in this piece, expresses my love-hate relationship with this space of apartment. Compared to adventure stories of Caitlin Smith and Captain James Cook exploring the world, my adventure is very weird because it's only inside the apartment space. It looks like prison. Yet I felt comfortable and safe in this place. And perhaps the humor and irony is that I'm having an adventure inside my home, only inside my home. But actually, you can. I put Lucy inside the home, but I forgot to lock the door, so it's not video. So sometimes it happens. Lucy sometimes go out to the door, and then what happens is there is no gravity, so Lucy not fell down. Lucy goes to somewhere else, so she just disappears from the drawer. It happens sometimes. And it's my very old work. Yeah. It was 20 years ago. And when I studied master's degree, I met wonderful teacher named Alex Landrum. He was a part of YBA movement. And in his class, I used to prepare digital print to make painting. And he said, why? So he recommended to me to use only digital media to create artwork. But he said, once you start with new medium, there is no turning back. So since that time, I'm using digital media continuously. He was a very good painter himself. He made me realize that I did not have to confine my painting, and I can be free from confinement of the physical in this new medium. So I actually printed 42 A3 size paper, and I put on the wall. And this is this painting is very old one. I painted it when I was in university student. And I created a self-portrait within a multi-perspective space. You can see both are the same person. It's me. It's hyper-realistic. And it doesn't reflect each other. So back then I thought how look at myself and how others look at me are always different. Because I think I hide myself to people. I made sure my existence is not too forward. I don't want to be special, but it doesn't mean I don't exist. So I think my work reflects this multiple self that is not categorizable by a single point of view. Thank you. Yeah. It's the my another avatar, the VR. Yeah. Thank you.